Hey y'all, okay, so Philip is going to give his version of how we met.
Okay. Let me tell y'all my story. So, my thing is, I was just getting off work. I don't remember if I was getting off work or going to work, but anyway, I was dressed in a full suit because back then that's what I wore to work was a suit. So, I stopped at 7-Eleven to get some things, and I was coming out the store and I saw this little lovely lady right here. So what I done is turned around and went back in the store. Now, she didn't see me, but I saw her. So I went in the store, wasted a little time, pretend like I was buying things. I didn't want to look like a creep or nothing. So I just kind of wasted the time. So to make a long story short, me and her so happened to go out the store at the same time. So she walked to the pump. She walked to the pump. I guess she had got gas or whatever, and she was sitting in the car. So I walked over to the car, and I started talking to her, and she can go from there.
Okay, well, the part that he left out is that he thought it was going to be a booty call.
Anyway.
He thought it was going to be one of them one night stand actions going on. But he found out real quick that I had a lot more to offer. Okay.
And real talk, 7 years later, that one day at 7-Eleven was thinking I was going to be like, okay, I'm going to just meet her and I wasn't serious, whatever, and that thing, we're married 7 years later. This is how it happened. You guys wanted to know? That's his story.
That's his story. Now I'm going to tell y'all mine. Philip gave y'all his version. Now let me give y'all the real version. No, but seriously, I was on my way to work, and it was a 7-Eleven that I never usually go by. You know what? As a matter of fact, let me go back. Let me go back a little bit. Okay. When me and Philip first met, I was in the process of going through a divorce. Okay, I had been married for 13 years, and I had filed for a divorce, had been separated for about a year and a half, and was waiting for him to sign the papers to not contest the divorce, basically. So he was being slow about it. So I had my youngest son had just, when y'all met Chari, my baby boy, he had just went off to college. My other two children were already gone. And he had just went off to college, and so I was living alone. And it was my first time ever living by myself, ever, because I had children at a young age, and it was my first time ever living by myself. So anyway, I had been living by myself for about 4 months, and I was in the dating scene, dating a little bit, and I was just like, it was just too much. After being married for 13 years, I was just like, God, I'm a wife, okay? I can't be out in these streets like this. It just wasn't me, So I prayed and I asked God to send me somebody. He probably didn't know all this, He thought it was gonna be a booty call, but he didn't know I was manifesting that soulmate energy with it. So I made a list. And I asked God for what I wanted in the list, and then I sealed it up in an envelope, and I just started loving on me. I started taking care of me. I started going out to dinner, taking myself out to dinner. I went to the movies by myself. It was the first time I'd ever done anything like that. So when I met Philip, I was on my way to work. So I'm in that, I got that glow. I got that, I'm a single woman. I'm doing my thing or whatever glow. So I didn't know that he was watching me, though, because I wasn't even paying no attention at all. I wasn't. So when I got in the car to get ready to go to work, he walked up to the car, and he had on a full suit. He had on a full suit. But the suit, it was like, that gave him confidence. He had on the full suit, so he came over there, we was chatted up or whatever. Now, one thing that I had said when I had asked God to send me somebody, I said, I don't want it to be anybody I know. I don't want it to be through social media. I don't want it to be through no dating sites. I don't want it to be like somebody introduced us. I said, I want it to be totally random so that I'll know that it's from you, God. So when he walked up to the car in the suit, and I looked up at him. I was like, oh, God, no, not him, not No, but the reason why I said that is because when I looked into his eyes, now this might get a little deep, y'all, but when I looked into his eyes, I seen all of the past lives that we had been together. Yeah. I had seen all the past lives we had been together. And I was like, oh, he done found me again. No, but seriously. And so he gave me his card or whatever. I don't know if he was expecting for me to call you that day. I think I texted you that day.
I think so.
I think I texted him that night, and we were talking about going out on a date. So I said, okay, I'm going to give him a chance. I'm like, okay, God, this is what I asked for, so I'm going to go for it. And I kid y'all not, the first 6 months of us being together, literally, I could not look him in the eyes. I could not look him in the eyes. I felt like my heart was going to explode. I couldn't look him in the eyes. I just couldn't do it. And it's even hard now, Why are you looking like that?
What?
Is that too much?
No, you good. Do what you do, baby.
So anyway, we started dating. Well, actually, I was planning to move to Atlanta. And I think, maybe about a week after we started conversating, I went to Atlanta.
I think so.
Yeah, I had went to Atlanta. Maybe a couple of weeks or whatever, I went to Atlanta. And so when I was in Atlanta, I was reaching out to him, but he wasn't answering my calls. So I had told my friend in Atlanta, hey, Carla. I had told her, I was like, I don't know. I don't think he's interested. He's not answering none of my calls and none of that. So I'm just done with it. So when I got back home.
So here's the story on that. While she was gone, somehow or another, I think I left my phone at work or something, but long story short, I lost my phone.
He lost his phone. Yeah.
Now, keep in mind, I did not have her number because nobody remember numbers nowadays. It's all in your cell phone. You lose
I
your
don't even
cell
know
phone,
my number to this day.
You lose your lifeline. But anyway, that's what happened. So I didn't know she had been calling me. So when she got back, I guess she had been back a couple of days or so. I haven't heard from her once I got a new phone, but the number was still the same. So I guess she had stopped calling me by then. So I remembered it. I did one time. I went by her house. Yeah, I went by her house to drop her off one day or something. We'd been out on a date. So I said, well, I know where she lived. So I just knocked on her door.
He showed up. He just showed up. And I was like, what are you doing just showing up at my house like this? Because mind you, we had just been dating. It wasn't anything serious. We went on a couple of dates and that's it. It wasn't anything serious. So, but yeah, so that's pretty much what it was. And after 2 months, we ended up moving in together. And then a year later, after my divorce finally went through, I had to wait 6 months before it was finalized. And he was like, hey, let's do it. I don't believe in shacking up. And so we ended up getting married. And, so that's just it. So
that's the story.
Yep, that's the story.
That's how it happened.
And as far as how many children that we have, I have 3 and he have 3. We both have 2 boys and a girl. But my oldest son, he passed away in March of 2020. And he was in a car accident, which he walked away from the car accident fine. But he had a punctured lung and he ended up passing away a couple of weeks later. But I'm not going to get into that right now. That that's the story I'll tell y'all later because it's so much more to that. But anyway, I just want to let y'all know. Oh, and as far as grandchildren, my daughter has a daughter, Jersey, and my oldest son has a daughter, Riley, and his oldest son has a daughter, Liberty. And we get Jersey and Riley come to stay with us every summer. Unfortunately, Liberty hasn't been able to come stay with us yet, but I'm hoping one day that
someday
she'll be able
to come hang out and we will show her the Florida life.
Yeah. So hopefully, because I would really like for her to be able to experience everything that Raleigh and Jersey, be able to experience. But anyway, yeah. So hopefully we answered all the questions. We are not in the military, but Philip used to be a police officer.
Long time ago.
But
that's pretty much it.
Yeah, that's it. We're just normal people. just enjoying life. No, we're not retired, but we're just living like we are, taking it day by day, and just enjoying life and not worried about the whole American dream. We have created our own dream, and we're living life by our own terms, and hopefully we're encouraging you to do the same, because life is short and you got to enjoy it while you can.
And one thing I will say about that, adding to what my wife said, you have to enjoy life. You have to do it now, because if you wait, you may not never get that chance.
That's right. That's right. And the thing is like, without getting too deep in our business, but Philip has been married before, and I have been married before. Hopefully we answered all of y'all questions, and we appreciate y'all for watching the video, and we will see y'all in the next one.
Peace.
Peace out.